Hello and welcome to the Overwatch X League. This is week 3, or rather week 2 of season 3 of the Overwatch X League. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, excited to bring this game to you between Crysis Red and SQUA. If you are just tuning in, we also have another game for you from the rival tier over on SNK's channel. That's SNK Rewind. You can look that up on Switch. If you want to switch over there, I believe that game is Atlas, V, and Winky Face, both coming off strong wins in week 1, so looking to get wins in week 2. But we've got the same situation here. Crysis Red overcoming, I believe that was Ryan's Rejects. They played in the previous game. Good 2-0 win for them. Eichenwald 4-3, Connemara 1-0. Good full hold for them. SQUA coming off a really tight game against DSC. Drunken Schmatter taking them all the way down to the wire. It was a 1-1 game tied up on Nepal. They went and won it 2-1. So now we start on Oasis for week 2. Both these teams are ready to get started, so we will be started for you shortly here. A lot of familiar faces coming into this game. SQUA, you may remember, went to the semifinal, played against All Natty before dropping out of the playoffs there, but had a really solid Season 2. Crysis Red on the other end of things, but adding some players and getting a little bit of strength in the DPS department and looking to get a win in week 2. And starting off well so far, so we'll see what they have for us, but I think everybody's ready to get going, so let's go to Oasis. So for this season, each week is kind of themed in a map, so to speak. Week 1, everybody started on Eichenwald, all teams and all tiers, and whoever lost that map got to pick the second map. So, and it's just best 2 out of 3. So whoever drops on Oasis here will get to pick that second map, but we actually didn't get to see a ton of control points. If a team did go down in the first round, we had a few control points come out, but definitely a more diverse map set than I think we had previously, so excited to see that. So now opening up on Oasis, Crysis Red in the blue actually on your left hand side there, just T-Buck 94 starting with Soldier. Also plays quite a bit of Diva, so you may see him pivot over there later on. Swift 63 going Mercy. Woody Calf on Reinhardt. Warrior of Time 84 going Lucio Melo Yeti on Diva. Tajin going Genji. For SQUA, got Frogs 87 on Orisa. Bo Billy still deciding, probably will go support. I think probably going to see a Mercy there. Don Jiggy on Zenyatta. Buddha going Soldier. Flips a trip on Roadhog. David Squabinson going on Junkrat.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
Damage amplified.
Good choice.
Now taking the high ground early, it's Buddha coming in, engaging quickly. Warrior of Time without a tank in a difficult position, drops there very quickly. Buddha damage boosted there by his Mercy. Now they have the advantage coming in. The Tajin answering right back, taking supportive zone. The Don Jiki falling there, but Bo Billy gets the res. That ability down as Tajin grabs one more, so it's still a 5v5 coming into the point, but SQUA has the high ground. Looking to come back in as it opens up. Looks like Crysis Red is taking a bit of a better position. They will cap this very easily, unchallenged. But SQUA still maintains the high point. Bo Billy drops down into the middle section there in a tough spot, but able to get back to the tanks. And yeah, Crysis Red zoning them out well. Buddha trying to get a little bit of damage there on the side as David Swabson, who fell earlier, comes back in on that Junkrat. Melo Yeti getting pulled and taken out of mech there, but it's already Tajin on the Dragon Blade, I think, going back in, trying to get a couple kills. Nothing in the feed just yet. Flips the trip, answering one back there. Actually, just T-Buck taking him down before he has the opportunity. Crysis Red in a very good position so far. And Frogs 87 trying to use the barrier in the corner there on Orisa, trying to protect himself as much as possible and stay maintaining the contest on this point. But Tajin bugging him there in the back. He's there by himself and may fall here. Will get staggered if he's not able to get away from him. Doesn't look like he will be able to. Surrounded there by Crysis Red, and they're about 41% onto the point. You have them calling out ultimates. Mobility for SQUA has the Valkyrie there. Swift 63 right behind for the other side. Will be able to use that in his next engagement. However, for the incoming attackers, Buddha now picking up the tactical visor here, a couple percentage points, and nothing really for the rest of Crysis Red. So it'll just be a Tajin for this next fight for them, but they have a support alt to kind of help negate that a little bit. So we see how he comes into this next fight. or if they're just continuing to hold here, it looks like SQUA's not really engaging them too strongly, so they can just continue building percentage. 67% gone for them and in a good position so far. Tajan going into the back, going for the supports. The Dragon Blade comes out, grabs the Don Jiggy, but now it's Buddha on the Tactical Visor, taking him down, and Bo Billy brings back the support to help SQUA come into this attack. A very good management of that for them. And now getting in here, it's Frogs87 with the Supercharger, keeping his team powered up and alive. It's 82% gone for Crysis Red, however, and they're just trying to maintain this defense as long as possible. SQUA really gaining some serious position on the point, but not able to take anything just yet. The tire coming out, but going down actually via that self-destruct from Mellow Yeti. Ult coming out again on either side as the hook goes awry there for Flippers a Trip. It's 99% in the percentage points for Crysis Red, and SQUA still doesn't have a foothold. Wittycap with that shield back on the point, continuing to defend for him, but SQUA has 2 tanks available. Still the fight breaking out here, and it looks like Crysis Red still has a bit of an advantage. It's Frogs falling there, Bo Billy drops as well. Flippers Trip on that Roadhog, trying to maintain as long as possible, as the pin there from Wittycap not quite as successful as maybe he wanted it to be. Tajan's starting to get some kills though, grabs Flippers Trip, and does have the Dragon Blade, but jumps off the point, however, to try and get those kills, and is not able to stall any longer for the rest of his team. And that is a good first round win there for Crysis Red, rather able to defend off the rest of the point before they're able to come back in and able to get the point there. Crysis Red, very dominant attack, and SQUA not really able to get in as maybe as strongly as they would have liked, and I'll be a little bit more assertive coming to this next section to make sure they get this win. Changing up a little bit, Frogs87, changing off the Orisa, going to Winston, Bo Billy off the Mercy, now to Moira, Don Jiggy, taking over that Mercy role. Buddha still in the Soldier, Flippers a Trip going to Reinhardt, David Squabinson, now in McCree. No changes for Crysis Red, unsurprising. Very successful first round for them, looking to wrap up this map quickly and get a strong start to week 2. Now SQUA once again trying to take that high ground, getting into a good position. Tajan pinched a little bit, they're trying to take him down. Just T-Buck, however, will get that first kill on his opposite Buddha, and starting off this fight really well. Crysis Red adding another on the Don Jiggy, Tajan getting a kill there. David Squabinson answering one back. It's a 5v4 on the point, and maybe kind of evening out a little bit for SQUA as they start to wrap up some of the kills, but still the percentage going Crysis Red's way, so the only ones on the point. Flips the Trip now pushing back in as Buddha joins him a little bit there on the staircase, but still defenders here for Crysis Red, and no one's taken the point yet. Flips the Trip still getting healed up really well there by the Don Jiggy, I believe, or it's one of the supports, I believe it was, probably both of the supports, both sitting there back with him. SQUA still strong on the point, but not getting the kills quickly as it's Crysis Red coming back in to continue contesting the point, and no one has any percentage earned. This fight's been going for a little while already. Now finally starting to flip that percentage point back. They won't be able to contest that as Mellow Yeti's out of mech, and SQUA for the first time in this game have some percentage points earning on the control point. Tajan with the Dragon Blade, looking for a good opportunity to come back and engage with Crysis Red to take down the current defenders. Also on the other side though, Bo Billy has the Coalescence that could be useful, and Buddha with the Tactical Visor that shut him down previously flips the Trip with a Shatter as well, so we'll see how they come in to use this engagement. Tajan has a few to help him out now, however, the Tactical Visor on the other side for Just T-Buck, Mellow Yeti with the Self-Destruct, now it's Swift 63 with Valkyrie as well, but David Squabinson will initiate things with the Riptire and grabs Mellow Yeti out of mech, so they won't be able to use it. That Self-Destruct, and Tajan coming in from behind going for the supports. Bo Billy drops as the blade comes out, and looking for another one. David Squabinson not the better, but the Tactical Visor will grab him. He's able to get 2 though. Tactical Visors for both sides, grabbing kills here and there. Now the fight really breaking out on the point, 55% gone here for SQUA, in a very good position as Wittycap starts to fall. The Coalescence still coming out from Bo Billy and injuring the opposing team there. Flips the Trip getting the kill on Wittycap. Was pretty essential to, I think, SQUA holding on at this point. 70% gone, now they're in good position once he fell there. Yeah, they really didn't have the defense they needed to repel all the damage coming through. And just like we saw Crysis Red do on the first point, SQUA really taking serious control of this one, not allowing Crysis Red any room to maneuver. And 85% gone, it'll be one more team fight once Crysis Red can flip this point back. And all to work with though, you see Wittycalf here, and the self-destruct could combine well, but they have no support also speak of, and none close. Swift 63, 75% away, and Warrior of Time will not have that Transcendence for a bit. The Shatter goes awry though, Wittycalf trying to use that directly into Flip, who makes him pay, takes him down there. Tajin answering a couple back, now switching to Tracer, and now Crysis Red maybe getting a little bit of percentage, getting the kills they need on the back of Tracer there. Frogs with the Primal Rage takes out Warrior of Time, but they lose the point in the process. Crysis Red starts to earn a little bit here, 99% gone for SQUA, so they know they really just need to win one more team fight, so they have to be smart about how they come in to engage. Look at their ults, they'll have the Tactical Visor and the Earth Shatter there. Pretty quickly, Bo Bidley is relatively close to a Coalescence as well. Nobody very close, though, for the other side. I guess Swift 63 will be pretty close to a Coalescence here pretty soon, which could help. And now SQUA starting to poke a little bit. Buddha earns that Tactical Visor and is going to poke a little bit further, get some of that damage in. They know they have time to wait, no need to be too hasty to go in here, but they will want to engage assertively once they decide to. Tajin trying to be bothersome on the Tracer, dashing in and out, getting a little bit of damage, but should be able to heal that pretty easily. The ult building for either side now as it starts to come in. Buddha going in with Tactical Visor will initiate things. He's able to get Warrior of Time quickly as the Coalescence responding from Swift 63. Now David Squabinson's Riptire though will grab one. Tajin doing what he does there in the kill feed, but it's all the kills going the way of SQUA as they have the advantage coming into this point. Melly getting that tough spot by himself and will go out of mech there. And yeah, it looks like SQUA will be able to wrap this point back up. A very solid engagement for them, but now Tajin grabs one and Poke Billy, another on Flip's trip with a well-placed Pulse Bomb. Now half health and Buddha's in trouble trying to use a bad biotic field there. He'll get a little bit of help from David Squabinson from behind, but it looks like Crysis Red continuing to stream back in. 75% gone for them. They're continuing this assault on the point. Looks like they will be able to defend here, wrap up the kills, and now they're 80% gone.
Knock me down and I'll keep getting back up.
Now SQUA in a difficult position. They had all of the momentum going forward and know if they lose this team fight, they will lose the game. Engaging very quickly here. It's Frogs 87 going in with the Primal Rage and starting to spread out that defense a little bit. The Valkyrie from the Don Jiggy continues to keep the attackers alive as Tajin again being bothersome in the back, Buddha's trying to take care of him, but unsuccessful this time. The self-destruct coming out here looks like it will not grab anyone. The overtime meter ticking down for SQUA. They know they need to continue pushing everybody off the point. Flip's trip doing just that, able to get a few kills, and it looks like the defenders here for Crysis Red may be falling. Tage is still putting in work in though, the Don Jiggy falling, and that's crucial for the defenders as he continues to try and stall, but finally focused down by this attack, and it's just T-Buck rather on the point trying to defend as long as possible and wait for the rest of his teammates to help him out. Does fall there, and looks like they may start to be able to flip this point back in, but it looks like T-Buck was able to stall just long enough for Warrior of Time to come in with the Transcendence and not able to get those kills, but Flip's Trip still doing what he can to keep those members off the point. They start to fall, the capture point starts to fill, but still the contest comes back in Contagion. That'll be a bothersome Tracer once again for them, very elusive and difficult to focus down, but Crysis Red continuing to contest on the point, and they know as soon as they're able to push off the rest of Crysis Red, rather they can win this game, but it won't matter for them as SQUA does grab the point back and takes round 2, and what a game for them.
Heroes never die.
So an incredible response there from SQUA to come back on the second point, force round 3, and now all to play for here in the first round on Oasis.
Would you like to know the specials?
This is now my
We will see a change now for Crysis Red, Wittycalf going Roadhog. Not able to win a lot of those Rhine battles. Now we'll decide to go Orisa actually, and maybe that could be the stability on the point they need. Blip's Drip kind of getting the better of him a little bit on that Reinhardt, so trying to change the shape a little bit. I like the switch there, good flexibility. Crysis Red was more successful on the first point, were able to kind of get rooted in and settle in quickly, so we'll see if that's how they engage this point. Obviously with the Orisa, they wanted the same kind of mobility, but now very difficult for them as coming into the back line and taking down Swift 63, David Squabble, able to get the damage, and I think it was Frogs 87 getting a little bit more in there as well. Yeah, now that's the mobility you were kind of worried about. Wittycalf going down in that Orisa, and the members really falling here for Crysis Red. SQUA starting to assert themselves on the point. Stayed still up and getting kills, flips the trip and Don Jiggy to recent casualties, but getting chased down a little bit here by Frogs. The pulse bomb comes out, doesn't quite connect, but he's getting kills regardless, and it's just Tajin that Squad really needs to worry about, but they're not quite able to focus him down. Able to stall long enough for the rest of the members of Crysis Red to come back in, and the control point just begging to tick over to SQUA, but they're getting a little bit of reinforcements now as the rest of these blue members stream back in from respawn spot. WoodyCat back in, that tank helping out the rest of the team, takes out a tank on the other side, Frogs 87 falling in that shield, helping to block a lot of that damage, getting another kill there, a good second headshot on David Squabinson, and it could be Crysis Red able to take over this point, though as I say that, SQUA finally able to push them off just for long enough to capture it, and it looks like they may be able to wrap up this fight.
Good choice.
Swift 63 still using that Valkyrie, so it was nice that SQUA was able to kind of force that out and still take control of the point. That'll be a difficult loss for Crysis Red. So hopefully they'll be able to earn that back pretty quickly, but they'll have the Transcendence from Warrior of Time soon as well that should help with some of these other ults to make them through.
Everyone heal up.
But Squad's really defending well, pushing up away from the point and pushing back the attackers, not giving them a lot of room to work with. You see Frogs on that Primal Rage, able to push them back a little bit. David Squabinson getting the kills and already disadvantaged. Crysis Red won't be able to come and engage the point. 36, 37, 38% gone here for SQUA. They're in a good position, defending well, coming back after dropping on the first round, and now in pole position to take this one should they continue holding here. Justy Buck with the Deadeye looking to get in from behind on the unaware SQUA and may grab his support if he's lucky. Does grab David Squabinson on the junk right there, but they focus him down pretty quickly. Tajin able to get res there from Swift 63, and they'll continue to try and engage. A Transcendence now coming out here, I believe that's from Warrior of Time, looking to help his attack come in, but a fantastic shadow here from Flips the Trip, combined with the Coalescence from Bo Bidley. Bo Bidley will be able to drop a couple. Tajin adding one back with the Tactical Visor on the Don Jiggy, but I think it's still SQUA with all the advantage, 75% of the point as well. And again, there might be one team fight away from wrapping up this first map on Oasis. So now pushing him again like they were before behind that shield of Flip as a trip, getting some of those kills. Now a triple kill coming in here, credited to Buddha, but it's the entire SQUA team helping out. David Squab is getting damage in and Flip as a trip with that fire strike. Now trying to engage once more. It's Tajin on the soldier, but focused down quickly. Swift 63 in a difficult spot and will go down as well. It's just a very good team fight and attack here from SQUA. It looks like they're wrapping up all the kills they need, and it's just the Pesky Lucio there from Warrior of Time on the point, trying to stall out as long as possible, but will be taken down there. And it's SQUA in a very solid position, continuing this defense of the point, the streaming back in a little by little here, and it depends on how long these Crysis Red members can stall out. But now the meter ticks down, Tajin not quite able to get back to the point, and it's a fantastic fight there for SQUA to take the first map.
Play of the game.
So like we saw in this one, obviously Tajin getting a lot of those kills back there, is able to be pesky in the back. 30 objective kills and 43 eliminations. Not quite enough to overpower SQUA, able to defend well there. And solid win from them. We'll see what the map pick is from Crysis Red, and we'll be back shortly. SQUA on top on Oasis, but the second map, Kings Row from Crysis Red, where we're headed next. Interested to see how both teams fare in week 1. It was Crysis Red when they defended first on Hanamura, a full hold and defending very well, but SQUA when they defended first on Eichenwald, the first map from last week, they also performed the full hold, so strong defenses here, and interested to see how they're able to come in this attack. I will say on the side of Crysis Red, they did win Eichenwald 4-3, so that was an initial attack from them that did go the distance with time on the clock, able to wrap up that point there. So I'm interested to see how they come into this next game. SQUA proving difficult already, however, winning that first point on Oasis coming from behind to take that map 2-1. So all to play for here for Crysis Red. If they fall on this map, that will be the game for them and drop to 1-1. Trying to get something out of this game and hoping they can answer back and force the third round. So make sure that everybody is ready to get started, and we'll get this map going for you. Just 1 second.
Now entering Kings Row.
So here we are on Kings Row. Coming into this map, it is Crysis Red defending first. Again, a very strong defensive team. Strong on both sides of control points, actually. So again, it's going to be up to SQUA to stop that defense. Of course, again, we haven't gotten a chance to see SQUA on a payload section yet because of their full hold on Eichenwald. So they did lose on Junkertown to DSC. That was the map they did lose last week. So it could be interesting to see how it blends here on a hybrid for the defenders. Just T-Buck there going on a Zarya, Swift 63 on Mercy, Woody Calf on Reinhardt, Warrior of Time going Lucio, Melo Yeti on Roadhog, Tajin going Soldier. For the attackers, it'll be a bit of a slow-moving attack to them, and damage coming in from the back. Frogs 87 on that Orisa, Bo Bidley going Moira, Don Jiggy on Mercy, Buddha going Junkrat flips the trip on Roadhog, David Swapison trying to get a few picks early, maybe on a Widowmaker. See if he has any line of sight. Holding a little bit further back though, Crysis Red not really giving him anything to work. We'll see how long it takes him to switch. Probably not too terribly. Looks to find another hero there. And we'll switch to, looks like, to Bastion. Again, going in line with that slow moving attack from them and looking to get the damage in and take this point quickly. Buddha on that Junkrat, still really kind of coming into the meta with all that extra damage now and starting to get the kills. Really good pin there on Woody Calf by Flip as a Trip and able to wrap up Buddha, getting damage in, helping out Frogs87 as the entire squad team in the feed here. Just getting the kills they need as another good pull from Flip as a Trip onto the trap here from Buddha, taking down Warrior of Time and combining well to get the kills. Swift63 still alive, but not for long, going down. Mellow Yeti falls close behind in 45 seconds off the clock as SQUA comes in and wraps this up very quickly. So definitely quicker than we thought. We knew that Crysis Red had a strong defense, but the attack from SQUA even stronger, able to break through very quickly. And they have 5 minutes and 30 seconds coming into the second section, continuing to get that damage in early. Phillips Trip using that get a breather to regain some of that health here. Now behind Frogs87 shield in a good spot, getting the pull there on Mellow Yeti, falling once again, and the defenders are disadvantaged here in the second section. Coalescence coming out from Bo Billy will repel them around the corner, but chasing them close behind is that Moira trying to get the damage in to Woody Calf. The tire coming around the corner from Buddha will finish off that Reinhardt though and steal the kills going the way of SQUA. Crysis Red continuing to retreat, and the payload continuing to move behind them, wrapping up around this corner, and they've got a lot of time to work with coming into the second section. Tajan trying to get a little bit of damage, but focused down once again by this team, and they're playing incredibly well right now, just taking down players left and right. David Squabinson able to get in on that pirate ship on top of the payload behind that Orisa shield, powered down all the enemy players just with the damage boost there from Don Jiggy on Mercy, and a very solid team attack from them, coordinated well, and they'll be able to wrap up this B checkpoint with 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Continuing to get the damage in, and this slow push has really been working out for them. Tajan trying to answer one back, does grab Buddha and looking for a better position. The shield of Woody Cap will help him continue getting that damage in, and now it's just a matter of who can damage one down faster. It's David Squabinson on the better side at that time, able to get the kill on Tajan, but res quickly from Swift63 using the Valkyrie there to grab 2. Still the attack powering through this third section though, 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. They've got a lot of time to work with as Tajan falls once more. Just T-Buck goes down again, so Crysis Red once again disadvantage. Another tank falls, and the feed continuing to turn red here for the attackers. Completely plowing into the final section here. Swift63 in a completely difficult spot. I don't even know if they see him yet. They could have taken him down while he floated like a pinata above them, but able to get into this last section. We'll see how long the defenders can contest, but everything going wrong for them as this attack continues to push forward. The sound barrier from Warrior of Time will help them out a little bit here, but the Valkyrie from Don Jiggy continuing to keep the attackers on their toes. Now the attack really breaking out as David Robinson once again gets the better of Tajan there on Bash and grabs another on Just T-Buck. And again, the attack continuing to push as Woody Cap, the older one, still standing. Warrior of Time helping out as the rest of them with that short respawn continues to file in, and they may be able to continue contesting this, but the attacker still powering them down. David Squabinson finally does fall there as the Mercy for the other side. Swift63 falls as well. I don't know if they have a res there for David Squabinson, but it won't matter as Tajan falls, and they're continuing to get the kills they need to power this payload into the final section. It's another coalescence from Bo Billy used well with a shadow from Woody Clive, catches one. The defenders continuing to move in. A good halt there from Frogs87 collects them, but no one able to finish in with damage. But now it's Flip's Trip with the whole hog coming in from behind, trying to push some of his defenders off the point. They're 3 meters away, but they've been able to stall this payload for about a minute so far. So Crysis Red doing pretty well and just trying to eat up as much time as possible, and finally able, I think, to hold that defense. Warrior of Time using 2 sound barriers in that engagement, finally able to repel this vicious attack, and they have a lot of time on the clock, but forced to resign there. Already in a tough spot coming to this next fight is Just T-Buck falls, and they're able to get the res off of Swift63, but now they won't have the res for Tajan. Still disadvantaged. Now the Supercharger from Frogs87 will keep SQUA bolstered as they come in to the point with damage. Woody Calf falling for them, and that's a difficult loss, but Mellow Yeti able to even things out a little bit, taking down David Squabinson and the Supercharger as Woody Calf comes back with the res. Defense holding relatively well, Mellow Yeti falling out of the mech, but now the Valkyrie coming out from the Don Jiggy should be able to help, though as I say, that Tajan coming in and getting a good double, one of which that Valkyrie Mercy, so they won't have that available. A triple for Tajan, grabbing Flip as a trip, and Bo Billy's Coalescence may not even be enough for the attack. I don't know if they wanted to use that. They're not really in a good position to continue attacking, and I think they could have saved that for another engagement, but the defense again holding well, and it'll be SQUA having to regroup and rethink this attack.
It appears we have suffered a minor setback.
Ultimate's definitely favoring Crysis Red still. Tajan has another tank mode Warrior of Time, who's been earning those sound barriers so quickly, has about 30% to another Woody Calf with a Shatter and Just Buck with that Riptire. So they've got a lot at their disposal, while the attackers here really just have the Tactical Visor and another Tank War from David Squabson. Flip and Strip should have his there shortly, but no support ults to help defend these defensive ults that could be coming in pretty quickly. So now as this next fight breaks out, Flip and Strip gets that whole hog, uses it immediately trying to power down the shield. He's been blocking a lot of that damage coming through. Warrior of Time answers him, however, with the sound barrier, but it's the Tactical Visor now coming in. I believe that's from Buddha trying to get some kills, but nothing successfully so far. And yeah, SQUA in a tough spot here. They powered through to the section so quickly, but not quite able to get the kills they'd like to get. Mobility earning another Coalescence incredibly quickly. Now Mellow Yeti's self-destruct grabs 2. Flip Strip and Buddha falling there. And once again, Crysis Red wrapping up these attackers and holding on to the point.
Let's get you back out there.
With the shorter respawn, Crysis Red hasn't really been threatened too much. Tajan's able to set up pretty easily and start powering down defenders a lot more than he was able to while they were on the move with the payload. So now that they've got that shorter respawn, they can kind of dig in and do a little bit of trench warfare. They're able to get the damage in and get the kills. Justy Buck, another damage dealer, getting frogs there and forcing the res early from the Don Jiggy. Buddha able to take down Tajin. That may be the initiation that the attack needs. Starting to get a little bit back, but now Tajin getting res as well and could kind of derail those plans for them. David Squabson finding a position and trying to get a little bit of damage, but getting a lot of damage himself from that Junkrat on the high ground. Frogs falling for the attack, but Bo Billy answering one back. Tajin able to come back with the res, however, so again, the attack disadvantaged. David Squabson using that supercharged tank form to try and power down a few and grabs Tajin once again. But again, Mellow Yeti able to get kills with David Squabson and Bo Billy falling. So it's, again, back and forth from both sides, and Crysis Red is still able to get the kills they need to wrap up these SQUA players. Buddha in a really difficult spot, and we'll drop there. It was, I think, 5 minutes on the clock. 5 minutes and 30 seconds maybe for SQUA coming into this third section and whittled down to 20 seconds, and really impressive defense from Crysis Red. Steamrolled a little bit early, but really impressive from them here to continue this defense, and if they can hold them only 2 points, that would be huge, considering how quickly they gave up those 2 points. Now coming into this next section, we will hit overtime. Tajin getting the defense matrix in from Frogs 87 and not able to do much. Taken down very quickly there as Justy Buck answers, however, back for the defense with the Riptire grabbing one, including the Don Jiggy. The Mercy down for the other side, though, as the Death Blossom comes in on hit Swift 63, but still looks like the attack maybe has a few members. The defense definitely has more, and the shorter respawn definitely favors them, as now it's Frogs 87 getting out of the mech and Flip Strip falling. The feed going blue for Crysis Red as the attackers continue to try and come in for this contest. Overtime meter starts to tick down for them, and it will be a hold to 2 points there. Round 1 complete for SQUA, 2 points off, and a solid defense finally for Crysis Red.
Switching sides.
So that's as far as the payload got. Impressive. Actually, I think it probably credit further than that, but yeah, remarkable that they were able to push that as far as they did so quickly. But then, obviously, Crysis Red coming back with a solid defense and using that short respawn, obviously, to their advantage and getting the hold there, relatively speaking. Now, we know that SQUA defends well on these types of maps, though, so it'll be a steep enough challenge for Crysis Red to take this first point. Not to mention get through that payload section, but we'll see how they do here. Obviously played really well towards the end of that last round, so hopefully they'll be able to get the damage they need to take this point early and have enough time to win it outright. For the attack, Just Buck going Junkrat again, Swift 63 on that Mercy. Woody Gaff going Reinhardt, Warrior of Time. Now switching to Roadhog. Mellow Yeti on Orisa. Triple tanking here with a single support. That's interesting. We'll see who, if anybody changes there, or if they do go with that single support with the healing from Warrior of Time. Tajin going Bash, and that's a very strong damage attack that double shield as well, so that could be dangerous if SQUA doesn't react to it well. Speaking of which, the defenders, Frogs 87 on that Orisa. Bo Bidley going Mercy, Don Chicky on Zenyatta. Buddha on Junkrat, flips the trip on the Roadhog. David Squabinson filling out, playing Bastion. Sitting back on the point away from the choke, as we start to see teams do a little bit more frequently, especially through that last OWXL season. A very good halt there from Frogs, and it's the entire team. Just David Squabinson getting damage in, combined with Frogs here on Orisa melting down the enemy team, and that's a very quick engagement up and down for the attack. Crysis Red will have to come back in and wait for those fallen members to re-engage, but very quick work made by David Squabinson there on the Bastion to melt down these attackers.
Much better. Where does it hurt?
Trying a different route here, avoiding the gaze of that Bastion, trying to take a little bit of high ground. Don Jicky also taking a bit of a high ground here for the defenders, able to see it all the way as they continue around this back section here. I think the defenders privy to it, so we'll see how exactly they repel this defense. They have a good enough attack for themselves. David Squabinson obviously on that Bastion, but a lot of damage coming in from the high ground from Justbuck on the Junkrat, getting the Don Jiggy there, and that's the first kill for them, but answered back, David Squabinson able to grab him, so now still a 5v5. Warrior of Time with a good pull from behind and able to get David Squabinson, but dancing around the point here and not quite able to pick him off, able to use that tank form, trying to get a little bit of damage in, getting healed here by Bo Bidley on the Mercy, and starting to get a little bit of damage. Nobody going down yet, and it's actually Crysis Red getting all the kills they need to start to take this point. As they wrap up the rest of the squad defense, really starting to earn some percentage here. I don't know if anybody will be able to really contest for very long, if at all. 2 points gone for them. They may just have to relinquish this point. So it took a little bit of force, but Crysis Red able to take it there. Not quite as quickly as SQUA, but they'll still be optimistic about this push considering how much time they do have. And they know they were able to win a lot of those late team fights in the last round. Bo Bidley falling early for the defenders, so now a 6v5 and answering back. Frogs 87 with the pull there from Flippers Trip, able to answer back and grab Tajin. So now evened out a little bit as the respawns. I wouldn't say they're too similar, but so the attack will be able to gather their sticks a little bit more quickly. Still just holding around the corner and definitely having a more difficult time through this street section than Squad did. The Supercharger coming out and the Flippers Trip using the whole hog. Warrior Time answering back with one of his own, but Justy Buck with a fantastic double there, grabbing Flippers Trip and Buddha and the Supercharger, but Warrior Time answering one as well, showing he's not the only one with some ult potential, grabbing two of his own, and Crysis Red really powering through the second section now. Yeah, still 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. A very good attack from them so far, and in a very good spot here to answer back and grab the second map here on Kings Row. Justy Buck answering really quickly, starting off this fight, taking down the Don Jiggy, who's fallen a couple times there, and now switching to Mercy to try and get a little bit more healing in for his defenders. Reaches that B checkpoint. Now it's 4 minutes and 55 seconds on the clock for Crysis Red to come into the third point here. Game in their hands as David Squabinson falls. Tajin getting the better of his obviously Bastion this time, and looking to get more damage in. Not a lot of ults at either side, but significant ones. It's a fantastic pull there. Trying to get... I believe that was Frogs that fell. Now a Coalescence coming out here from Bo Bidley, trying to repel this attack. A good pull from Flippers Trip will take down Tajin, so in a good position here. Don Jiggy able to rest back David Squabinson with this Swift 63. Also in Valkyrie, grabbing Tajin, who falls once more. The defenders starting to stack up here, but now the Shatter coming through grabs both tanks and Woodicap going in for the charge. Tajin able to get into a deep spot, but a halt will pull them back. Frogs 87 looking to take down Tajin, but he's still alive there on the point, getting healed well, and Crysis Red getting the kills they need to wrap this up. And almost in that final section here, it looks like it's SQUA trying to contest as long as possible. David Squabinson can't get there quickly enough. And a fantastic return here for Crysis Red to take the second map and force the third. Late in the game, Tajin able to jump into the back, get some kills there on Bastion, and just melt down the rest of those squad defenders. Getting some good kills there and tying up this series. Crysis Red answers back one on SQUA, and now we go into the tiebreaker round. We'll get the pick from SQUA. We'll be right back. and welcome back to this game between Crysis Red and SQUA on OWXL Week 2. I'm excited for this game here. It's been hot so far. SQUA taking that first round on Oasis. Crysis Red coming back and with a strong late defense there to hold off SQUA on Kings Row. It'll be Lijiang for the third map. Another control point SQUA favorite here as they do take the first and one on their Nepal control point. Last week we haven't seen them on Lijiang just yet, so interested to see how that breaks out. And Crysis Red obviously losing on Oasis, having lost the first control point we've seen them on, but obviously not a good indicator of this team's ability. We're only in week 2. A lot of the season left to play. Both teams going for a week 2 win, going into week 3 2-0. We'll see who's got it in them to take this third map. Make sure everybody's all squared away and get you to Lijiang as quickly as possible. So I'll make sure I have the readies from both captains and be right back. Alright, it does look like everybody is set. So I appreciate your patience and yeah, let's kick it off. Head to Lijiang Tower.
Now arriving at Lijiang.
Again, a control point. Interesting to see how these teams switch up and react. Obviously, SQUA coming in and winning Oasis, but did lose the first round, so it could be interesting. Because if Crysis Red had taken the second round, which they were in a good position to do, very well could have been game over already after that Kings Row. So we know that they're still strong on these control points, Crysis Red, and have to be able to them to get over the line and get the win here. Now the lineup starting to shape up for either side. Crysis Red now in the red on the right-hand side. Just about going Junkrat like we've seen a few times tonight. Swift 63, again on Mercy, Woody Calf going Reinhardt. Warrior Time opting for the Roadhog, Mellow Yeti on Diva. Triple tanking again, Tajin on the Soldier. Now for SQUA on the other side, it's Brogs87 going Winston, Bobidley on Moira, Don Jiggy on Mercy, Buddha now trying out that Pharah. Flips the trip on Reinhardt. David Squabinson going McCree. We'll see how quickly or how long Buddha stays on that Pharah. Tajin on the Soldier could prove difficult. So it'll be obviously very flexible. Both these teams. We'll see if Buddha switches off to another hero here. Or if he even needs to, able to take down Tajin quickly. They may not even be worried about it if they dive him down quickly.
3, 2, Capture the objective.
Now opting for bridge side, trying to get damage in early. It's Buddha on the Pharah, trying to move some of these members of Crysis Red rather off the point. Frogs87 the first to fall there, diving in and getting dropped. But Buddha answering back on Tajan, able to take down that counter just like we thought may happen, but a little bit surprised. Maybe I thought the Tajan might get the better of him, but not a problem. Buddha picks up a third on Swift63, and even though they're able to res one back, Tajan gets up and gets down again. Buddha picking off Soldier once more, and yeah, now SQUA coming in very strongly here, getting the kills they need and wrapping up this first point very quickly. Yeah, Buddha on the Pharah definitely should not have underestimated the ability. Already 98% to a Rocket Barrage, able to take down Tajan not once but twice in that fight, and proving the hit scan not an issue. But now getting pulled there, and Tajan able to wrap him up on the way through. So that will prove difficult, but now Swift63 down. They was Robinson getting the better of that support. So pretty even on the point as Just Buck falls for Crysis Red as well. So now incredibly disadvantaged. They'd probably be wise to wait for the rest of their team members, but still trying to get a little bit of poke damage in through this open section here. Maybe build a little bit of ult charge. Woody Cap and Tajan pretty close here in around the 80% range, as Tajan now answering one back on Buddha. That's 2 for them. And Buddha with that Rocket Barrage hasn't had an opportunity to use it yet, but may try and use it, then pivot to another hero. Lives the Trip has a Shatter, and they could combine well. But now the kills going either side. The tanks, 4 SQUA getting the kills they need, combined with David Robinson grabbing a double of his own. Buddha, Boop, and Tajan, that battle going back and forth should be entertaining all game. And as Melanghetti falls out of mech, it'll be SQUA wrapping up, holding on to this point, 5 ults in their pocket, and 60% gone. Very good defense from them. Trying to get kills here, you know, with a damage boost from David Squabinson on that McCree. Yeah, really just forcing back Crysis Red. They don't have a lot of room to work with. The Rocket Rush coming out, and Tajan does go down there. The Pharah getting him once more. Frogs87 with a Primal Rage, able to grab another, and as they reach 90% or so, I don't think Crysis Red really sniffed this point up to this point. The Deadeye will grab Swift63, who's in that Valkyrie. That'll be a huge loss for them. And it's Frogs87 on the Winston. You see his silhouette up there in the top right, just distracting, pulling members off the point there. They're 99%, and things really starting to go the way of SQUA. David Squabinson grabs a couple. Tajan with the Tactical Visor, though, grabs a few of his own and helps to take down the rest of these defenders. Now the Don Jiggy on the Valkyrie grabs them back up, and now they're still solid coming into this point. Tajan once again grabbing Buddha. He may be here by himself. Actually, I say that, but it's actually Flips a Trip on that Reinhardt by himself. That Mercy's trying to help him stay alive. The only one left remaining on the point. It will be a Crysis Red take here. Nobody yet able to contest, and it'll be SQUA having to back off. So an impressive attack there. All hope lost for them as the overtime meter loomed. But able to get the kills they needed to regain, rather just start to gain percentage on the point. Up to 15% now, and knowing they have a steep hill to climb, but very well could make it happen.
Enemy contact.
And the engagement starting here, slow and steady a little bit from SQUA. Frogs looking for an opportunity to jump back into the back line, but catch a little bit of the wall there and doesn't get maybe as far as he wanted to. Getting a lot more damage in his face and having to back off there as Flipp's Trip falls for SQUA, and that's a difficult loss for them. Force the Transcendence, though, from the Zenyatta there, Warrior of Time, using that Frogs87, able to grab Melanghetti anyway with a Primal Rage. And as Buddha grabs Swift63, it's Tajan coming back and grabbing him with the Tactical Visor. And difficult to tell who really has the advantage, but it does look like Crysis Red is going to be able to hold on to this point pretty easily. Frog still trying to get a little bit of kills, maybe the rest of his team coming in to help defend, but yeah, looks like it's still all Crysis Red here defending well. SQUA trying to re-engage, but down that Frog's 87 tank, so it will be difficult for them. Coalescence from Bo Bindley, however, trying to melt down a couple, does grab Woody Calf as Flippers a Trip adds one on Just T-Buck. Once again, Melanghetti falling out of mech as the res comes back in on Woody Calf, trying to continue to stall as long as possible. They're up to 70%, and this has been a good defense from them, but I think it is SQUA that should be able to wrap up here. Flipping the point back over, the overtime meter starts to tick down. We'll see if anybody can come back in and try and contest as long as possible. It's Just Buck on the Tracer doing what he can, falling pretty quickly. The headshot from David Squabinson a little too much. Melanghetti on the Diva, classic stall character. Essentially 2 lives, trying to stay alive as long as possible. Focused down well by the members of SQUA, but focused down the pilot as well. As you see the silhouettes coming at him for Crysis Red, not able to get there quickly enough. And a fantastic first round win for SQUA. They're 1 round away from taking this game. So now backs up against the wall. It's Crysis Red looking to get the win here to force that 3rd round and come back way from behind to get the win after winning the 2nd round, dropping on the 1st, and definitely never say die for them, able to come back from behind before and looking to do so once more. Now engaging on the high ground, Wittycraft trying to get that hammer damage as much as possible. Nothing really connecting, and he does fall there. Warrior Time able to get the better of him from the back line. And as the kills start to go the way of SQUA, they'll start to move into the point as it opens up. Rather, I expect them to, but it's open and no one's earning any percentage. SQUA continuing to push back a little bit, but if they're not careful, they will allow Crysis Red back into this point. Didn't quite happen for them, though. Frog's getting good damage in there from the front, and they will wrap up this point early. Continuing to get a push back in, though, earning percentage well, and sitting in a good spot. Most of them pretty close to all, so everybody over 50%, as David Squabs is 4% away from grabbing that Deadeye, and nothing to help defend it except the shield of Wittycraft. I guess that Mel Yeti defensive matrix, so be sure to get her out of mech before trying to use that. But as the engagement comes back in, trying to get damage, Crysis Red behind Wittycraft, looking to push back in and force their way to the point. SQUA forced to retreat a little bit, coming back and just galvanizing themselves, awaiting the onslaught from Crysis Red. Staying up the hallway though, and not quite pushing just yet, as that slow attack from them we've seen so far behind that Reinhardt shield. But now the Valkyrie to initiate from Swift 63 will start to keep everybody alive. David Squabson using the Deadeye very quickly there to take Swift 63 down, Buddha with a tactical hazard of his own, and all the kills once again going for SQUA as everybody in the feed getting a turn and taking down Crysis Red relatively easily. It's still 3 ults for SQUA, defending the point and can take control very assertively. Just 1 ult to speak of on the other side is Wittycraft, and Warrior Time closing on there is Tajin pretty close as well. But still, only 1 ult used, 2 ults I think. Yeah, Tactical Visor and the Deadeye there from David Squabson and Buddha. And able to wrap up that, so fantastic ult management from them. So now a little bit to fall back on, but already the control point a little bit away from them. Crysis Red 70% in the hole as the Primal Rage comes out here from Frogs87. Looking to continue back, pushing back the attack rather, as they come in the hallway I think, or maybe a Fat Fingers and goes back into the point. May very well have been accidental, didn't get any kills for it, and now Crysis Red starting to push back in once again behind that Reinhardt shield. Frog's going in and attacking him quickly, Flip Zero combining well to drop him very soon. Justy Buck using the tire, but not really helpful for them as Warrior Time with the Transcendence, trying to keep the rest of his team members alive. The Shadow, however, unprotected, unaffected by that Transcendence, trying to grab the kills they need, and once again SQUA wrapping up here. 97% off the point, and if they wrap up this fight, they will win the game. Wittycraft back on point, able to grab Flip's trip, and maybe it's Crysis Red coming back now in good position. Bo Billy, however, answering back. The Shatter coming in and not able to take down David Squabinson. The overtime meter starting to tick down here for SQUA. This could be the game for them. We'll win it here. And a fantastic Week 2 win from SQUA.
Play of the game.
Yeah, coming back and dominant there, doing it like they did in Week 1. Winning the first round, losing the second, coming back, galvanizing, winning the third, doing it a couple different ways here. Buddha just fantastic on the Ferret, getting the kills, getting that double there on Tajin essentially. Just goes down, back up, and down again. And solid from SQUA. It'll take a lot of solid positives coming through the Week 2 map here, and yeah, just getting a strong lead out in the Challenger tier. Going up 2-0, and it'll be Crysis Red dropping to 1-1, trying to reevaluate and come back in Week 3. I have some final thoughts for you after this short intermission. Be right back. Right, and welcome back. That does it. Congratulations to SQUA. 2-1 win over Crysis Red here in week 2, going up to 2-0 and taking a commanding lead here in the Challenger tier. Crysis Red coming back, able to get that win on Kings Row with a fantastic late round defense, but not able to do it. And get the wins on Lijiang Tower. SQUA taking them 2-0 there. And yeah, this game turning out to be just as exciting as I think we hoped it would be. Also, if you missed the other game from the rival tier that was tonight, I believe that was Weekend Phase, and I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't remember who they're playing. I believe it's Atlas B. Over on SNK stream, that was archived as well, so if you would like to watch that game, that will be available for you on the stream. We'll try and get that on the YouTube channel as well. If you like your game stream, remember, Captains, there is a tab in the on the website that gives you, under the Captain tab, gives you a streamer form to fill out. You can request to get your games streamed. If you're not doing that already, definitely do so we can get you a streamer for your games. But for these two teams, very strong for them. I think obviously Tajin on DPS for Crysis Red, definitely a difference maker, and a lot of good players there. Able to help him wrap up and support him well, but I think that's the team coordination and the defense from SQUA a little bit too much. A lot of their fights, we saw them each getting in on those kills, a lot of assists, and a lot of focusing down their targets in the right order, figuring out that Tajin would be an issue and making him a priority. So, yeah, really strong from them. I think I got to see this team on stream a lot in Season 2, and I think that you can definitely tell practicing well, communicating well, and yeah, definitely an improved team in Season 3. So excited to see what they have for us throughout the rest of this season. You know, congratulations again to them for getting that win. Coming up for the league here, just looking at the week ahead, it's Crysis Red playing DLG, who are also coming off a solid week 2. I think they actually got a win via forfeit, but they did have a very strong performance in week 1, and go 2-0 against Crysis Red here, looking for their second win in week 3. For SQUA, they're up against Making Plays, who I think is still looking for their first win. So in a good position there to try and go 3-0, and Making Plays all the reason to make the plays to get the first win in week 3. But I think that will do it for me, guys. Appreciate you guys watching, and again, we are Twitch affiliated, so thank you to all of our subscribers that support the league. Really appreciate that. Allows us to keep going and doing our thing without any entry fees or anything like that. So really appreciate all you guys out there. And again, thank you for watching the streams, and be sure to catch SNK's broadcast of the rival tier game as well. But yeah, for the OWXL, I am Salt and Pepper, and we'll see you next time.